All right, good morning. I had so many backlash about yesterday's video. People were saying, were pointing out how simple my observation were, but it is that simple. It was about the physics of water. You can come up with any number you want. On a bigger scale, you won't make water look like that. That's not reality. That's not observable reality. I base my comments and posts about what I can observe. After the video of yesterday, a guy named Brad Stagliano wanted to debate me. So I did it in another group because I couldn't go live in this group. And I even tried to post it in the comments. It was removed. It wasn't accepted as main post, but I'll tell you what was going on in the debate. The guy was talking about the molten core as fact, and it was fact unless I can disprove it, which is delirious. I can say anything, and I say, okay, disprove it or else it's fact. Oh, but it's been said by scientists and they all agree there's a consensus that there's a molten core, but no one has ever observed it. So why would it be fact? And then he was bringing up the dome and the edge. He first asked, where's the edge? So I was like, did I mention an edge? Oh, but it's the belief of the conspiracy theory of the flat earth. Oh, yeah. For me, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's my observation. And first of all, I admit that the dome is part of the conspiracy, but not the edge. The edge is something that the glober assume that we assume exists. There's a lot of assume in that because we don't assume that the edge exists. We have the humility to say we don't know if there's an edge. And if there is an edge, we surely don't know where it is because we don't have access to that information. We can't observe that. So if a flat earther comes up with the idea that, yeah, the edge is there at parallel, and he indicate the position of the edge, I would be skeptic. I wouldn't say, oh, he's wrong if he says, I observed it, I went there. Well, okay. Maybe if you show me proof of that with your position and all, I could believe you, but now I remain skeptic. And if I observe some kind of edge myself, there I would believe it. And about the dome, it makes sense. It makes sense. But did I observe it? No. So I can't say, and I never said there is a dome. Well, yeah, every time I mentioned the dome, I said there could be a dome. And I often said the word of on the street if there's a dome over us, but I can't say for sure if it's true. We're not like globers. Globers, they say, oh, this is true, this is fact, but they have no clue. In reality, they have zero clue. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna come back a little bit with the physics of water because I had so many backlash about yesterday video. And another thing, the horizon. Two trolls in that group are, and one of them is admin, the one who's censoring that blonde guy who does TikTok flat earth video. I don't know why he debunks him. Maybe because he makes sense. That's the thing. You don't have to be a scientist to make sense. Observe reality and accept reality as it is. Okay. So maybe I'm because I like to talk and sometimes I deflect from my main point, but I'm gonna make sure that in the end of this video, all my point gonna be addressed and answered. So about the physics of water, they say, I saw a comment on a post that was so stupid, and he calls me stupid. He says, oh, you can't see the curve, so it doesn't exist. That means you can see oxygen, so that doesn't exist. How stupid is that? It doesn't get any stupider than that, okay? No, I can, you can, no one can observe the curve, okay? You say it exists, but if you can't observe it, and you can't measure it, and you can measure it flat with all kinds of instruments like laser, like P900, or any instrument that can see far. You can even measure it with a rope. If you're sure that your rope is gonna stay at the same level. A rope attached to another stick, is it gonna curve? Sorry for laughing, but the curve makes no sense, okay? Because, okay, they're saying water on a smaller scale, like I demonstrated yesterday, the water kind of evaporated, okay? And they say, oh, it's too simple. It has to be complicated to believe it, but it's just that simple. Water lies flat. You can measure it. It's reality. It's observable. Water lies flat. So they say, on a bigger scale, physics of water change magically. Okay? Because here, I put a cover in the bottom of this pot. Okay? So it's curved. You can see that it's curved. But when you put it in the water, in the bottom of the pot, water doesn't conform to the bottom of the pot. It's flat on the surface. It's not that I can't see the curve. I can see that there is no curve. That's observable. That has nothing to do with you can't see oxygen. So oxygen isn't real. That is stupid as fuck. I'm breathing fucking oxygen. I mean, think before spewing nonsense on the net. That makes no sense. And then they say, that's when the conversation switched to horizon, which it's simple observation too. You can observe it if you get out of mom's basement. Okay? I know the Globers are nerds on the computer in mom's basement. They never go out. And if they go out, they're on their phone while going out. So they never look at the world that surrounds us. And if they do, well, they don't comprehend it. They trust the science that told them that you can't see the curve, but it's there. Even though we can measure that it's flat in the basic physics of water, water lies flat. It's provable. The guy that I debated yesterday, that's when I ended the debate, because he first started, we agreed that it was going to be like a court case, okay? So sometime in the video I was saying, Judge, look at the water lies flat, and he was bringing up his molten core, his gravity, unobservable, unproven, and I was telling him, if you're in court with a judge blind to the ways of mankind that hasn't been told that the earth spins, rotates, and it's round, and gravity pulls the ocean towards the earth, and he hasn't been told either that the earth is flat and the dome and the whatever you want to say about the flat earth. He hasn't been told. Still, he's an intelligent person who can decide who's right and who's wrong. So I was bringing my simple fact with my simple plate and simple water in it with their simple basic physics, such as water lies flat. And he was bringing the cord. And so at the end, when I ended the debate, he said, well, I asked him, can you disprove that water lies flat? He said, no, I can't disprove that. Oh, hey, it's over. Boom. It was over. Like he was bringing up unproven scientific claims because he was told. That was his only argument. Oh, I've been told, the establishment said so for so many years. You have to disprove it or else it's true. So I told him, you haven't been to court much, eh? Because that's not the way it works in court. If you bring up a point, you have to prove it. If you say the space agency says it, bring them before the judge. And maybe I'll have some question to ask to those space agency or whatever expert you want to bring up that they say that the core exists and gravity is a thing. Okay, so I literally destroyed him in the debate. I tried to post it on this wall, I tried to post it in the comments. So in the comment it was removed and I had a warning, so I didn't post it again. And it wasn't accepted by the admin in main post. So if you want to see the post, join the group where I posted it, or tell me, I'll send you the link in private, and be the judge of who won this debate, because this guy says he won for some reason. Well, all he did was interrupting me and spewing the main narrative, like the textbook. And he couldn't shut the fuck up. Seriously. And then he wanted to do a redo. Of course you want to do a redo. I destroyed you fair and square. And when I told him, and if I go live with you again, you're gonna have to learn to shut up and listen once in a while, because it was very chaotic. And then he said, oh, I'm done listening to Flat Earther. Well, okay, I told him, then you're not debater material if you can't listen, because a debate consists of two parts: listening and exposing your facts. And he doesn't listening. No, he doesn't listen. And he has no facts. He's stating the mainstream accepted science without proof. And he shifts the burden of proof on me, because science have said so, he's been told, and he chooses to believe it. Okay, that was that about the debate yesterday. If you want to see the debate, just tell me, I'll send you the link in private. And yeah, so about the water conforming to the shape of the earth, I just show you here that water doesn't conform to the bottom, to the shape of the bottom of whatever the container is, okay? It lies flat. It always lies flat, okay? If you told me the earth was round, but the surface was more land than water, I could say, it's possible that water's flat, but because it lies flat, basic physics of water, but there's more land, so maybe the land is curved, and then when you have a body of water is flat, then it continue curving. But that's not the case. Most of the earth known surface is water, and basic physics of water lies flat. It's observable. You can all observe it in a little plate, or you can go to a lake, an ocean. You're gonna observe it to be flat. So here comes the part about the horizons. Those two trolls were saying that horizon don't exist on a flat earth. doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't know how they came to that conclusion, that clownish conclusion. Okay, first of all, the archaic argument of a ship disappears bottom first, that means the earth is curved. That's the way we see it with our own eyes. Okay, when you go in a hallway in a hotel, big hallway, like I have a pretty big hallway here, but not big enough to observe the phenomenon I'm gonna expose there. You see, it seems like the ceiling is going that way, is going down, the floor is going up, and it means at a vanishing point. Well, ours may be not big enough to have a vanishing point like we see on Earth, but you can see that it's going that way and it's going that way. So logically, at some point, it's gonna join, eh? Ceiling going down, floors going up, walls going inside. It's all gonna join at some point, and you can see because your eyes can't see. They have a limit, okay? They can't see very far. Okay, so about the boat that disappears bottom first. That's true. It appears to disappear bottom first. It appears like the hallway. It appears that the ceiling are going down and the floors are going up and the walls are going towards the inside. But that's not what's happening. And you can measure it. You can measure that it's all straight. The ceiling are straight, the floors are straight, and the walls are straight. That's facts. You can't deny that hallway, huge hallway in a hotel, it looks like it's going that way. But it is straight, measurable straight. Okay? So, you see it appears, it appears, you see it that way, but it appears that the boat disappearing bottom first. But I don't know. Haven't you seen the video on the internet that taken with a P900 that the people zoom in and they bring back the old boat into view? I've seen it. Okay, I have a P900 myself, and when I bought it, it's those kind of tests that I wanted to make, but I haven't got a chance to make it yet because I'm very busy in life, and I don't live close well, I live close from the St. Lawrence River, but on the it's long, but I have to have a boat to. And even though a boat, it's not it moves, so it's better to make the test on the ground. But my neighbor upstairs, which I've been bombarding him with vocal message lately to try to convince him about the reality of the flat Earth, but he's indoctrinating to the core, to the core. And because he has a degree in administration, so that makes him more knowledgeable than me about reality. Administration, that's very relevant. Okay, so he tells me he got fed up of me sending him messages, and he told me, okay, next summer you're gonna come with me at the Lac Champlain. Champlain Lake. My friend has a boat, and I'm gonna show you that boat disappear bottom first. So I'm gonna observe it myself. And since I've posted 2 videos on this group, I'm gonna post the result on this group. Alright, so come back to the horizon. Yes, you see the boat disappearing first. Yes, you can bring back into view, so You see that, like the hallway, what you see is not reality. So those two clownish trolls tell me, how do horizon our horizon are possible on a flat earth? Okay, first of all, if the boat disappears bottom first, if you measure the distance of the boat, frankly I don't know at what distance it starts to disappear bottom first. It starts to look like it disappeared. Let's say it's 10 miles, okay? Let's say I heard 3 miles, I heard 6 miles, let's say it's 10 miles. When you look, okay, I've seen picture, I haven't been to the ocean much, okay? Much, I've been there, but yeah, I haven't taken measurements like my video of the flat, of the, not the flat, the CN Tower. I went to the Skypod, the highest level in the CN Tower. I was booted from a flat earth group for posting that video. I was making a 360 at the CN Tower. Apparently you're not high enough to see the curve in the CN Tower, but you're high enough on the ground to see the boat disappear. That makes no sense, but that's not what I was getting at. Let's say the boat disappears at 10 miles, okay? And you look the picture, or you can observe it in real life. All I seen is some pictures, and when I went to the... Oh yeah, about the CN Tower, I wanted to say, yeah, I got booted from a group because they found a reason, a fake reason to boot me, because I said, I love it when the shields are on my post like Oprah on a baked ham, which is a Bart Simpson quote. So they booted me because they said I was racist, because I named Oprah. It's like if I was saying, oh, this guy can jump as high as Michael Jordan. Oh, it's racist. Michael Jordan is black, so you're racist for naming him. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? They created a reason to boot me because they hated my video from the CN Tower, from the Skypod at the CN Tower. But that is that. So you observe from left to right, it's gonna be more than 10 miles. If there's nothing to obstruct your view, it's gonna be a lot of miles. Again, I can't say how much is it because I haven't measured it. But if you want, you can measure it. I'm gonna tell you that it's gonna be more than when you see the distance, than when you see your boat starting. I gestured a curve, but don't assume that I assume that there's a curve because I gestured a curve. Okay, so the distance left to right is gonna be larger than the distance than when your boat start to disappear over the curve. So how does that make sense with a logical thinking, you know? That you can see the curve from there, but not from there, even from a greater distance. And if you can't see that and you believe that it doesn't exist, it means you believe that oxygen doesn't exist. Yeah, that's science. Come on. Hey, if you could see the boat disappear over the curve, you would see some kind of curve from left to right. And that is logic. And you can say, I don't understand science, go back to school, read a book, blah, blah, blah. That is logic. And anyone can do logic. Anyone. And as for horizon wouldn't exist on a flat earth, how stupid is that? An horizon is the horizon. If I put my camera on the table, it's flat, I'm gonna see the end of the table. If I put it infinite, I'm gonna see something at the end. The sky is there and it's converging. Just like the hallway in the hotel. It's converging. So that's what we call, and this is big enough so the sky join the ocean at some point. Just like the walls, the ceiling, the floors, They all join each other, but the all is not high enough to see a converging point, which we call the vanishing point, because our view can't go that far. It vanishes. The sky join the ocean. It's as simple as that. Why horizon wouldn't exist on the flat earth? And because my explanation are simple, you're gonna say, oh, you don't understand physics. No, it's because it is that simple. Just think about it. Think about everything I said. No curve from left to right, even though the distance is larger than when you see the distance than when you see your bolt disappearing bottom first. That makes no sense. Seriously. The key, I always say that to people, the key is to think. Not to write paragraph over paragraph over paragraph and make posts about a guy. This guy don't understand science. I understand what I observe. I do understand. You want to believe what science says. I say science because that's not science. Saying that there's a molten core without any proof whatsoever, and you say, if you can disprove it, that means it's true. Okay. You know, people can say anything. But observation says it all. Observation is reality. In reality, there's a vanishing point, just like the hall of the hotel. It doesn't change by scale. It just bigger. So it joined the view of the ocean, joined the view of the sky at the vanishing point. That's the way we see. You can test it in the hallway of a hotel. Anyone can go to a big hotel, even though you don't rent a room. You can go upstairs and film it or take a picture. You can see picture on the internet of a hallway. You can say that, oh, it's a picture on the internet, because you can do it yourself. Go in the hallway and see it for yourself, that we see like that. It's the same thing. The horizon is the vanishing point. As simple as that. I don't understand how they figured that there would be no horizon on a flat earth. That makes absolutely zero fucking sense. Zero fucking sense. Okay? And another thing that makes zero fucking sense, I repeat. Larger distance left to right, no curve observable. 10 miles forward, curve observable. Makes no sense. Another thing, and I'm gonna end this video. Water doesn't confirm to the bottom of whatever it is in. It doesn't. You can see it. It lies flat. You don't need to have degrees in physics to observe that. So don't come up with the dome and the so-called edge and tell me that I believe in it, because I don't believe in it. Okay? First of all, the flat earthers don't know if there's an edge, so they're never gonna say that there's an edge. Some flat earthers believe, they have faith that there's a dome over us, but I don't. I believe there could be a dome, but I don't believe in it. If I observe it, I will believe in it. But I'm pretty sure that after the operation I jump and they started shooting missile up in Operation Dominic or a fishbowl or whatever, fishbowl, I'm pretty sure they discovered something, but I didn't. So I still don't believe in the dome. I think it's suspicious that Admiral Byrd have said that they discovered a land as big as the United States beyond Antarctica and all kinds of natural resources, and people will rush there. He even said in the interview, that's a peaceful place, but it won't be for long. People gonna rush there. What happened next? Admiral Byrd died mysteriously. They created NASA. So the final frontier is not beyond Antarctica, but it's up there in space. So that's where we should look, up there. But you're not gonna go. We are gonna go. NASA are gonna go. But you are gonna pay for it. 52 million since the 60s. But I believe it. They tell me NASA wouldn't lie. The government wouldn't lie. And why would they lie? Well, there's probably a couple of reasons, like 52 millions a day, and lands undiscovered by the general public beyond Antarctica. And that would, if there was, because I don't believe there's land. I believe that it's possible, unless Admiral Byrd was lying, because apparently he was a Freemason. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a setup to make us believe. So I don't know. Unless I observe it myself, the only thing I can do is believe. And I don't believe. I believe that could be true. And it does make sense. But I can't say, I believe it, there's land all beyond Antarctica. I'm never gonna say that. Just like the dome, just like the edge. If it's not observable, like the core or gravity, because, gravity, to disprove gravity is as simple as an helium balloon. There people are gonna say, helium is lighter than air, or the density of the molecule is lighter than the density of the molecule of the air. And I will answer to that, yes, exactly. That's why an helium balloon rises instead of going to the ground like everything else. If it was attracted by gravity, if gravity was a thing strong enough to keep both that are underneath the globe pull towards the earth, and all their container that are all piled up, it's strong enough to pull them towards the earth. But an helium balloon, no, it flies. Oh, it's because the mass. No. Hey. Take anything very, very light, like I don't know, anything that's very, very light. You drop it, the molecule is still denser than air. It's gonna drop. The reason why the helium balloon rises is because the molecule are less dense than the molecule of the air, and that is density. That's science. That's observable science. So you can't say that there's a force that pulls things to the earth. You can't say that. Well, you can say that, but that's still not going to be true. So everything that I said, it's observable science. Like water doesn't conform to the bottom of its container or whatever it's in. So it won't conform to the curve of the earth. It won't. You can observe that. And you can say the boat's gonna disappear, but there's no curve visible there. Oh, so oxygen doesn't exist. No. You can measure it. You can see it, measure it, observe it. That becomes reality. So what is the earth like? The glober like to say, oh, you don't have a working flat map. Wow. If I had the resources and the permission to go to places to map the whole earth, I would. I wouldn't even get paid for it. Just by curiosity, I would. Okay? But I don't. Do you? You just believe the map they are showing you. Even though the maps in the past are different, they changed at some point. But you decided not to look at them and believe what modern science are proposing to you. The fact that you choose to stay ignorant and not to look at the evidence doesn't make the world a ball that spins and rotates and everything rotates. Yes, that's clownish. That's clownish. That's theory. You know that Copernicus himself didn't want to publish his revolution of the heavenly spheres because he thought it was, he said it was just a theory and it was not non-probable, but in French, peu probable. It's almost non-probable. In other words, he said it was bullshit. And he wanted to wait after his death to publish. After all, it was published a little bit like a week or two before his death. But still, he thought it was bullshit. The author of the theory you believe in with all your heart and soul, the very author of that theory tells you that it is bullshit. So how stupid you have to be to believe in those unobservable facts and not to believe to what you see. That's what you see.